Has Donald Trump peaked? Well, that's the headline in the Washington Examiner. But I got to tell you something. The Trump steamroller keeps rolling on, and everyone seems to be jumping on a bandwagon, except the media and a political class which continues to dismiss the real estate magnate's chances. In fact, take a look at this chart. Trump hasn't received any endorsements from his fellow Republicans, while his rivals have all gotten some. By the way, Hillary seems to have gotten the entire Democratic Party behind her. So how long before the GOP blinks and jumps on the Trump bandwagon? One issue spooking the GOP, of course, is Trump's reluctance to be politically correct and speaking on a variety of topics, particularly Hispanics.
Are you aware that the term anchor baby, that's an offensive term? People find that.
You mean it's not politically correct and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say?
The American-born child with an undocumented immigrant.
Oh, you want me to say that? Okay. I said, no, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
All right, joining me now, Angela McGlowan, Political Strategies and Insights President and CEO, and Jessica Tarlov, Democratic Pollster and Strategist, shown consulting senior political strategist. Jessica, we're not going that whole title next time. Angela, let me start with you, because the brashness has worked, the in your face has worked, the not apologizing has worked, and yet in the meantime, the GOP is cowering. They're so afraid that Donald Trump is not just going to ruin it now, but forever with a large voting bloc like Hispanics.
Donald Trump does not set the Republican Party platform. Having said that, though, Charles, listen, people want real people out there. They're tired of the political correctness, and the establishment knows that Donald Trump cannot win against Hillary Clinton in the main campaign. Having said that, Donald Trump is actually bringing millennials to the Republican Party. He's bringing a lot of eyeballs to the Republican Party. So I like Donald Trump, and he hasn't peaked yet, and I hope he doesn't.
Well, before I go to Jessica, what do you mean he can't beat Hillary? What are you talking about?
Because, Charles, we need someone in our party who's more moderate. You cannot say that you want to actually deport U.S. citizens. Now, I can understand the anchor baby.
Yeah, what about but go ahead, finish, Angela.
Listen, I understand that certain things that Donald has said is pretty controversial, but you have Americans, you have Hispanics that will not support the Donald. You have some blacks that will not support the Donald. Having said that, we need like a Bush, a Kasich, or even a Rubio. That's what the establishment wants.
You know what, Jessica? I think the Democrats have to love hearing that, because Donald Trump is
I loved it. I love Angela.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump is he's a dynamo. He's the most exciting, electric thing in politics, and yet the GOP won't embrace him. They won't embrace the things that are making him successful.
His policies are not clear GOP policies.
But the bottom line is, though, right now, he's only a few points behind Hillary. He's a juggernaut. It seems to me to be something of a mistake. I don't think Donald Trump will run for a third party, but I think it's something of a mistake to continuously dismiss him.
I do, and I've stopped doing it, because every time I say that he's terrible, he goes up in the polls. I know that it's not directly correlated to me.
You don't think so?
But I feel like when people
talk about politics...
I think
if I'm standing up, my team wins the game. If I sit down, they lose. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not quite there. Give me a few years, and I feel like I'll start to think that way about my power. But the point is that Donald Trump, he says what he means what he says. He's a little unclear, though, about what the repercussions of this. Like with the 14th Amendment thing, he says, I'm not going to amend the Constitution. I'm going to have really good lawyers agree with me. We're going to litigate this. You're not going to litigate it. It's the Constitution. This is the way that it is. You can't talk about deporting U.S. citizens. You can't have half a tax plan that actually, he says, is completely fair, but where people earning $1 million and over, and that's a huge range, are only paying 15%, when Bernie Sanders is getting people out there and hyped up about income inequality. I mean, Angela's completely correct. A Bush or a Kasich, that's who I see really coming out of this.
So, Angela, here's the thing. Donald Trump on with Maria Bartiromo this morning, he made a point that I thought was really succinct, in the sense that the party has no energy. I watch these guys during a debate. I'd look at them, slump into the town halls, and it just feels like they're reading off talking points. They're trying not to make mistakes, and it just doesn't feel authentic, exciting, or real. You talked about the millennials going to Trump because he feels like something is there. Who could take that baton from him in the party?
I don't know who can actually take that baton away from him, but people are tired of flamboyant orators. People are tired of broken promises. People want results. And look, everybody in America loves success. Donald Trump is successful. Flying to his speech in his helicopter, actually not getting a lot of dough from other folks to run. People love that, and they believe that he's going to do what he believes and not what the party establishment wants him to do.
All right, guys. I got to tell you, it's going to be exciting. All the experts keep telling me, every time you guys tell me he can't win, he goes up even more in the polls.